I'm going to try and do this without having a post between me and some of the people. But, it's such a pleasure to have everyone here tonight to have a meal before tomorrow's festivities. Thanks to everyone for traveling and braving the traffic, although it was pretty horrible at times, I think. As mother of the groom, it's really my great pleasure to say a few words about John and Caitlin for less than 4 minutes before the pasta course. I think you may have heard the adage that little boys love their mothers best. So when John was about 5, do you remember this, John? Say yes. He does, I'm sure. It's etched in his brain. When John was about 5, one night before bed, he told me he was thinking about getting married. And I didn't know how to break it to him that I was already taken. So I asked him, John, have you got anybody in mind? And he said, very quickly, I think I'm going to find a wife at the pool. So much for the old adage. But we all know that John found a wife at the pool. True story. Is it true, John? Raise your hand if it's true. Okay. It is. It's so nice to see all of John and Caitlin's friends, or many of them, from middle school, high school, college, and beyond tonight. For example, you, Ian Marsh. I remember when John and Ian were heading out to their 9th grade homecoming dance. John's dad and I were a little worried that he might follow in your footsteps. You were grounded a lot of the time, Ian, and I think you were already shaving. And then you joined the band, and then you got in trouble for backing your truck into a ditch when you were supposed to be in school. But look at you now. Lovely wife, beautiful new son, and a great career. The point is this: friends, both old and new, are so important to your story. And John and Caitlin, when I saw you and yours getting off that bus last year at your engagement party, I knew you'd be in good shape. Not just because you all look like an ad from a J. Crew catalog. I was the last person in our immediate family to meet Caitlin. During the summer of 2011, John and his friend Caitlin from the pool hung out after their shifts most every night. John's dad and sister Jennifer met Caitlin during that time. I was always asleep by 10 p.m. in those days. But Caitlin, they both told me how fantastic they thought you were. And John, nobody was buying the friend bit. The night I met Caitlin, maybe. The night I met Caitlin was memorable. John cooked dinner from scratch, and it was pretty good. And although you never cooked again for your dad and me, John and Caitlin bonded to binging with Babish and Blue Apron deliveries since then. And John, I remember that night after you both left, sitting with your dad in front of a fire, talking about how incredibly happy we were that you had found each other. And Caitlin, you have always felt like part of our family. This thing tomorrow is just a formality. So there are some people that might think that John is a bit of a procrastinator. Raise your hands. Okay, yeah. So I'm not right. And maybe 7 years is a long time to have a dating courtship. But here's what I know. John, you are decisive. You are deliberate in your decisions. You don't enter into important things lightly. Caitlin, I have learned that you are kind and thoughtful and tolerant. And when I see you two together, I know it is a perfect fit. Also, Caitlin, just so you know, John told me almost 4 years ago that you were definitely the one. One of the greatest pleasures in life is forming new bonds. Leslie and Tom, it's been such a pleasure over the last year getting to know you and your family and spending time together. I hope we can do more of that in the future. You have raised a daughter who's just lovely inside and out. Every parent's wish is for their child to find the perfect mate and live a charmed life. I think we can check that box tonight. Please join me in toasting John and Caitlin. Cheers. Cheers. And now I can cheers. Cheers. Cheers, Mom. So well done. Oh my God.